So you heard her. Recording is in progress. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Bonneman. I'm the head of the medical library. I'm with.
My name is Ron Epps. I'm the reference and print resources librarian over in Wiggins Memorial Library.
Yeah, and we're both on the symposium committee, and we're here today just to kind of take you through what the day will be like and what to expect. I think we have people representing all of the different formats that are here. Even if not, though, we're going to go ahead and go through them. Those being oral presentation, poster presentation, online presentation. Oral and poster are kind of the same online, and then art. So those are the four ways that people participate. If there's anyone here from music, you'll be getting a lot of information from Dr. McKee about your own performance. They kind of run that separately. So you'll be getting a lot of you'll be getting your schedule that he also sends us, things of that nature from the music department. All of this is located on a website that is lib.campbell.edu/symposium, which you'll probably want to bookmark for the time being, because it'll take you to all the places you need to be. And most of the information we're covering here is under this presenting at the symposium link, but I'll be giving a little bit of additional stuff. Yeah, the symposium is on March 29th. All of you have been accepted and have accepted your nomination. Congratulations, that's awesome. We're very, very happy to have you. If you are presenting an oral presentation, you will be given a time and a room very soon. And that will be where you need to be and when. The oral presentations are in 30-minute time blocks. So you'll get a time like 10:30 a.m. or 11:30 a.m. or 2 p.m., something of that nature. And you'll be in a classroom setting in the library. The presenters will be at the front of the room. You'll have a computer. Please bring your presentation on a USB in case, but also have a copy in the cloud somewhere, whether that's email or Google Drive, somewhere like that. You'll have a projector and a PC there. If you would like to do something like play audio, that will be possible, but you'll want to let the person running the room know, so you want to get there a little bit early. I would recommend getting there about 10 minutes in advance of your presentation. Each student will have 20, a student or group will have 20 minutes to present. It's basically you're supposed to condense your presentation into a 15-minute block. It should be a 15-minute talk. And then there's 5 minutes for questions from the audience. Practice your timing. That's a really good idea. The schedule has to be enforced to accommodate presenters before and after you, and the moderator, which will be a librarian in your room, will give your time and give you a 3-minute warning and a 1-minute warning. Those aren't enforced so aggressively that there's a timer and it goes ding or anything like that, but we will ask you to wrap up when the 15-minute mark rolls around. The things you should know on the day are that you should attempt to dress professionally. We don't enforce a dress code of any kind, but you have been made aware, I think, that the career closet's available for you. Consider your audience. The people who are there will not necessarily be in your field. So this should make attempts to be both reflective of the advanced nature of your work, but also, accommodating the fact that people are watching this who don't really know anything about your field. That's okay. PowerPoints are good. Other options are good too. And yeah, consider how short 15 minutes is. give a try to a presentation that's 15 minutes and you'll see that if it's not already that short. On the day, you'll come to the library because all oral presentations will be happening in the library. And there will be a table at the front, inside the front doors, where you can get a name tag. And you can also check on where your room is if you can't remember, or get directions to it if you need that. Then you'll go up to your room. A librarian will be there to greet you. And you can just say, I'm presenting. Can you help me get this set up or whatever? And the librarian will be able to do that. And then you'll basically have the room for the next amount of time. You'll be introduced by the librarian, and they will thank the audience for coming and thank you for presenting after as well. So that really is everything you need to expect in that area. Ron, did I miss anything with that one?
No, I just encourage you, if when you get through your room assignment, to go check out the room ahead of time to get a feeling for what it's like.
That's a good idea as well. Some of them are long computer labs, and some of them are kind of conference roomy, but with chairs in them. And any librarian can help you with that. All right, so we're going to move on from oral. If you are an oral presenter and have a question, we can do that as soon as we're done here. And we're going to move to the next style, which is poster presentations. The poster session specifically will be in the student union on the second floor, and it'll be from 3:15 to 5 p.m. It is a poster session. It has food. It's a drop-in session. People really enjoy it. Faculty meander around, students meander around. It's great. The expectation is that you or your partner will be there from 3:15 to 5. You have the ability to set up between 2:30 and 3:15. And during the session, you'll stand by your poster and answer questions as people walk around. Some of the people who come to ask you questions will be judges. They may or may not identify themselves as such. You may be able to tell by the clipboard they're holding with score sheet on it, but they usually don't score in front of you. They're grading both the 3 to 5 minute summary and the poster itself. So give everyone plenty of space to look at your poster and things like that. What you will need to bring with you is your poster itself. You will not really need to bring anything else. We have boards, we have pins, and if we do use easels for some of the overflow, we will have ways to fasten your poster to an easel as well. So you won't need to bring anything except the poster itself. To get the poster made, you have one option that we provide and any number of other options that exist. But the option that we provide is you can send us a PDF of your poster by Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023, which is the Wednesday before the symposium, which happens on the 29th, next Wednesday. And we will print it for you for free. Make sure it's error-free, because if you have to reprint it, you do have to pay. That will be kept at the library. It's very likely that it will be kept at the main desk of the library, but you'll be sent an email when your poster's ready, and you can pick it up just before you go over to the symposium if you want to. If you're only coming over for that afternoon, the library is just about a 2-minute walk from the student union, so it won't be a major scheduling issue for you. If you want to get your poster printed somewhere else, that's okay. The presumption is that it should be no larger than 36 by 48, and it's probably good if it is 36 by 48, because that's maximum size is not a bad thing. But yeah, there's an online submission form there that you can find. All of you will receive an email to that effect as well, like, hey, if you want to print your poster, do this. But that is available to you. During the poster presentation, during the poster session, you can wander away to get food for a second if you want to, that sort of thing. Especially if you're presenting solo, that is fine. But it's good to assume that you'll be there. Really 3:30 to 5 is when it's being advertised for. Judges can come early. That's posters. Ron, is there anything else? Okay, you're muted. Okay. If you're presenting an online presentation, that is to say, you'll be sending us a file of either a online PowerPoint with narration or a poster with narration. Please upload those by Wednesday, March 22nd. You'll be sent a form where you need to submit that to. And please include narration in your online presentation. It's part of the judging rubric. Please upload it as an MP4 file. We have a workshop on how to do that. I am this year going to send them back to people and ask them to make it an MP4. Now, if you have a PowerPoint that you're recording to, you can make that into an MP4 via the Save As function. You can also do that with Google Slides. You can also do that with just about anything that is a format where there's going to be audio narration with a visual. You can save that as an MP4. That's the format that we use for hosting things on the website, and so that's what we need it to be. Once we've collected those materials, they'll be published in the online schedule, which is a website that will be linked from here. Everyone will be on the online schedule, whether they have an online presentation or not, but the online presentations will be in their own section, and people will be able to view them. Judges will view them before the symposium, and you'll be possibly given awards for them at the day of the symposium. If you can't attend, that's okay. You can still win. But that is how those will work. They will be viewed asynchronously. They don't have a scheduled time. You don't need to present at a scheduled time. You need to send us a video. basically how that works with online oral and online poster presentations, which we don't really distinguish between because that's really about the visual nature. Finally, I'll mention art. Artwork is with the posters. You need to bring it yourself to set up between 2:30 and 3:15. We will have some tables that are for art. We don't have a specific space within those tables that you have to be in. So the earlier you come, the better you can choose which table you want to be on. But you will also have a place card that you can put in front of your artwork. Art, it is not assumed that you will necessarily be there. Those are judged without narration from the artist because the art judge prefers to do it that way. But lots of people love to present their art and talk about their art with people. So if you want to come stand by it, that is encouraged, that is good, and that is typical. So if you are presenting artwork, please come and stand by it if you can. And you can present, you can partake in the symposium, you can, hang out in the posters and, have a good time with everyone else. I think it's a good thing to do. As far as the what happens after the poster presentations are over, those end at 5 on Wednesday. Right there in the ballrooms upstairs in the student union at that time, right next door, kind of, you'll be able to see it. We'll be having the awards ceremony. And the awards ceremony will be about 45 minutes and keynote. There'll be a keynote speaker who's talking for about 20 minutes. And then we will do the announcement of the award winners for all of the different categories in the symposium. Those categories are basically by presentation type, and they are by student group. What I mean by that is we have undergraduate versus graduate, and then oral versus poster versus online. Each of those is its own category. There are 6, and then the art category is 7. There are not, part of the reason that this is distinct from the performing arts is the performing arts don't receive awards from the symposium itself. Those awards are gift cards, typically, and are worth trying to win. The judging will all be done by both a librarian and a faculty member for oral, or a single faculty member for posters. So your goal is to fulfill the requirements of a rubric that is listed. You can find those rubrics under the judging page on the symposium homepage. But ultimately, we do want to stress that to be nominated for the symposium requires getting the attention of faculty. It requires, faculty being excited about your work. And we're really not presenting this as mainly an awards contest. It is good to be here that day. It is a good experience for everyone. And we really want to make sure that it's not, mainly done in the spirit of competition. There are some presenter workshops that we've recorded. So these, and we think that's what we're going to go ahead with, oral and slide presentation, effective research poster, polished paper presentation, so that you have the ability to, kind of show us what you are going to do. And those are kind of a lot of tips. I haven't given a lot of tips about what makes a good poster today or anything like that, but that is part of it. Ron, is there anything else we need to cover about how the day works?
No, just there are going to be librarians that, milling around the entire day. So if you have a question, please feel free to ask us and we will steer you in the right direction. We are really looking forward to the symposium, and it's a great day. When you give your presentation, if you have time, you might want to stick around and listen to another presentation if something grabs your interest. It's always a fun time.
There's one last thing I'll mention, which is that what I am doing now that you all have accepted your nomination and given me time slots is I'm creating the schedule. That schedule uses a website called Sked or Skedge. You may have seen it before for a conference you've attended, maybe not. It's a fairly simple schedule website, and everyone will be added to that website and invited to join it. You don't have to do anything with Sked. Okay, you do not have to do anything with Sked. You can, if you want to, log in based on the email that I'm putting in with your presentation, which won't be displayed publicly, by the way. It's just creating you as an identity. You can log in and put up stuff like a profile photo. You can log in and change your abstract. You can log in and do stuff like that if you want to. You'll all be getting emails once your Sked IDs are created and once you're put into that schedule that let you interact with that. and you will be receiving emails from SCED because you'll all be in there as a listed group. But they'll be coming from either me or Brooke Taxicus, who's the other person working with student communication for the symposium. So be on the lookout for that next week or very early the week after. Okay, so I think that covers everything that we wanted to say, which means it's question time if people have questions. So we're just going to open up the floor.
I have a question.
Yes.
So on the form it said there's a place for like you to fill, for you to be your oral presentation recorded for like
Yes.
your family to be able to see.
Uh-huh.
Where will you be able to go find that after the
Those,
presentation?
yeah, those will be uploaded into the schedule after they're processed. So it'll probably be a bit later, probably the following week, but they'll be attached to your presentation on the schedule.
All right, thank you.
Hello, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out, did you guys like post anywhere the link for those doing a online presentation where we can submit like our
Not yet,
MP4?
no.
Okay, will that be like on the
You'll be-
website or will that
You'll be
email?
receiving an email because we don't want to post that publicly for obvious reasons. But yeah, you'll be receiving an email that says, please submit this by this time, probably on the, yeah, you'll probably be getting that something like the 13th or 14th.
Awesome.
But in the meantime, yeah, you can rely on, yeah, that.
Sweet.
Both good questions. What else?
Got one in the chat.
Ooh,
Question is it problematic if my presentation isn't directly related to my major? For example, I majored in criminal justice and that was my category last year, but my presentation is related to history, music, politics in France. So it probably shouldn't be listed as a criminal justice presentation. I wasn't also.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and answer that first.
Okay.
So was it not, it'll go under the department of the course it was for. I guess I can stop sharing and check real quick on your presentation, but so you accepted it as a criminal justice presentation. It was not, I'm going to check the nomination. Because I'm going to default to whatever it was nominated under. There's no actual importance to the subject. That doesn't affect, let's say, judging, for instance. That affects just, especially the difference between criminal justice and history in this case, or whatever it would be. Yeah, it was nominated as a political science presentation. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is change it to a political science presentation because it sounds like that's kind of what it was. It's not really that important, but we'll default to that. And go ahead, Ron, you read the next one.
The second part, there was a second question. Though my presentation is in-person oral, I may not be able to attend the award ceremony. Depending on the time of the performance, I would potentially be in that evening. Is there anyone I should notify if I am unable to attend the ceremony since I am opting to be judged?
No, many people don't make it to the symposium, the ceremony, for a variety of reasons, because it's, dinner time, or they have a job, or, anything like that. We will reach out to you if you win, and your name will still be announced. So I would say don't, there doesn't need to be a specific notification. Just we'll notify you if you win, and you can respond to that email and come pick up your prize at the library within the next week or so. Those are good questions.
Hello.
Hi.
So when we were filling out the acceptance form and it said major, that was referring to the actual what we're presenting.
I believe it said, well, if it said major, that's, I think it said department/program, right?
Probably, I was confused.
Yeah, it said department/program, which is like, what was the department of the class that nominated the presentation? Sorry. Hold on.
Should I, like, is there a way to go back and change that? Because, yeah, I'll put my own, like, major, and my presentation has nothing to do with my major.
Oh, because this is a religious, yeah. So I'll change it to Christian studies. I can find it soon because I can see who's talking. So that's changed.
Thank you.
We would have done that. We will have done that anyway, because we cross-check what you put in with what the professor put in, and if it's a religion professor nominating a pharmacy student, it's very obvious. So yeah, we put it as a religion presentation. So
thank you.
See if we have another question in the chat. Where will this video be posted in case we need to reference something again?
It'll be emailed to all participants, and may be posted on the website, but it'll definitely be emailed to all participants as a link. Because some people aren't here, right? So we want them to watch if they can.
Any other questions?
Awards, judging, cool stuff.
Average wing speed velocity of a laden swallow.
We can wait a couple more minutes. The chat just says thank you. Our timings are really, really narrow, but we don't have a really specific expectation of exactly what students will present and how. So, you know, I really stress that, you know, lots of different kinds of presentations can be good. And, you know, that's, I think, important to this. Oh, typical judging criteria, good question. I can actually show you that once I get off the student acceptance page. Don't really want to put everybody's email on this video, so.
Give me a second. For that one, I can post the judging
I got
page.
it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'm gonna go through real quick. So judging, we have rubrics, and now everybody, we don't have separate awards for different departments, but we did think, and the rubrics are not very different for each department, but for an oral, I'll look at the social sciences oral presentation rubric because I think it's kind of the middle one. The main differences are not very large. It's really about the question of whether you have a research question, a thesis, or a, you know, something else, more than it's anything else. So here's the oral presentation rubric, and I'll show the poster after this. But basically, we're looking at thesis and goals, content and research, design and organization, and delivery and engagement. So, you know, to have and then an overall merit category that is sort of like, how good is this really? Like, how is this presentation super awesome? Is it just quite good? And I do want to be clear, when some of you receive these and you have a score of, like, let's say 10, some people tend to go, I got a 10 out of 20. And what you got was a A. That's kind of how we explain to people, because these are all presentations that got nominated for the symposium, right? So the expectation shouldn't be that you get all fours. You should go for all fours, but like, you should not be expecting all fours, because that means it's like the best presentation that there was, more or less. But yeah, you can see the rubrics there on the judging page that's at the symposium, but these are the criteria. I think they're very broad. And judges should be writing a little bit of feedback for you on each one as well. The poster rubric is not super different.
We have a question. Would a QI oral presentation fall under social sciences?
Would a
QI or a Q1 oral presentation fall under social sciences?
quality improvement? It would depend on your department. What department are we? It's gonna fall under science, but it doesn't actually matter that much. The difference is literally whether we say research question or thesis in the rubric. They're not different in any particular way, but it's going to be based on the department. I would not be concerned that the rubric will be insufficient to help grade your presentation. That's clear. Yeah, so here's the poster rubric. You can see that we kind of look at goal and purpose again, method and conclusion. Then we have a poster design and verbal interaction, and those are separate, right? And then overall merit. So these are not that different, but we do, assume there's kind of a hypothesis research question, and we want to see evidence of, for instance, exceptional insight, pushing the field, professional appearance, poise and movement and expression. But do note, the main thing in all of these is the research and what is in it. And stuff like design and verbal interaction are slightly less than the main thing. Okay, so they're part of it, a big part of it, but they're not the main part of it. So we tried to make sure that we're really grading on the basis of quality research. But of course, presenting your research well makes people think it's of higher quality. So those are the basic criteria. Art is graded on its own rubric set that I think the art department has access to. We don't even process that. They're just given kind of first, second, and third prize. And it's, for obvious reasons, a lot more nebulous because they're not even in the same media. So it's complicated.
Any other questions?
The question about QI being social science or not, I do want to be clear. There's not a social science award category. It just affects what rubric, like those only affect what rubric is used, but they're very similar. Yeah. The category is graduate, oral, graduate, poster. Right. Okay. Exactly 30 minutes. Can we do it? It's okay if people have more questions. If you do have more questions, please reach out to Steve Bonneman, Brooke Taxicus, Ron Epps, Holly Long, or just the library. They'll know who to point you to.
Yes.
Who's on the symposium committee. You don't need to remember those names necessarily. Everybody's involved. And thanks for being here. Thanks for your questions. And we really, really look forward to seeing your work at the symposium. It's really kind of the highlight of everybody's year at the library. So we're very excited. And thanks for making that great for us.
Yes.
I'm going to end the recording now. Thanks for watching.